Hi everyone, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist, and in today's video we're going to talk about the February 2023 Visa Bulletin that was just released a few hours ago. This Visa Bulletin has not many news, not good, not bad. If anything, it's a little bit negative. So let's jump into it, let's look at it together so you can also learn how to interpret this Visa Bulletin. So the first thing you need to do when you're looking at the Visa Bulletin is find it, and always find it in the official travel.state.gov website. You can see here on the address bar that I'm always using a .gov address. If you Google Visa Bulletin, usually the first result will be this one. So you can see that right now we have the current January 2023 Visa Bulletin. Until a few hours ago this was empty, but now we have the February 2023 Visa Bulletin. So what I'm going to do to show you more clearly the differences, if any, I'm going to open them in two windows. So I right click, open new tab. And now we have January in the first one and February in the second one. So we're going to revisit the January Visa Bulletin, and what we do is we go down to the employment base. You see that first we have the family base green card categories. This is a channel focused on employment base and specifically EB2 and NIW. So we go to employment base preference. And there are always two charts, final action dates and then dates for filing. We're going to look at both, but then we're going to see which one is the one we really have to use for our process. So I'm going to go in February, I'm going to go to the same place. So now we have exactly the same table in both windows, and we can see clearly the difference. We're going to look for employment-based category first and second. First is EB1, so those of you who are interested in EB1A, that's another self-petition category. You're going to look at EB1. And those of you, probably most of you, who are interested in EB2 NIW, National Interest Waiver, you're going to look at this line second. And then depending on your country, you're going to look at one column or the other. If your country is not China, Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, India, Mexico, or Philippines, you're going to look at the first column. Okay, so let's take a look at this row. This is for EB2, specifically those of you doing EB2 NIW, this applies to you. So we're going to go now to February and see if any of these dates change. So we see that there's no change at all in the dates for final action dates. That's the name of this table. So that means that even though 1 month has passed, the process hasn't gotten any better. So we are stuck there. In other words, there's a little bit longer line now to get your place in the process. So if you are waiting to do an adjustment of status, this is not great news. This means that 1 month has passed in real time, but for USCIS the line has not moved. Okay, what happens for first employment category, those of you doing EB1A? So we look at this, and again, no change in those dates. They are the same. So again, this is stuck also. We see that one thing that had happened previously is that China and India in EB1 for the first time in a long time had retrogress, which means that the date goes back. It's a negative thing, and it's still there. They are still waiting. So only those EB1 applicants from China and India who filed, who have a priority date of February 1st, 2022 or earlier, can proceed. But let's look at the second table, because actually, spoiler alert, that's usually the table that we have to use, and it's very similar. It's also similar if I change from January to February. It's also similar in that EB1 and EB2 are completely unchanged. But this is actually, if we click here, it will tell us which one of the two tables we have to use to know when we can adjust our status. So we're going to click here. We're going to open this link. And here, usually what we do is we look at next month's adjustment of status filing charts. And they are still showing January, so they are still not showing February yet. It usually takes a few days for them to update. But if we trust what they were saying for January, it says that for employment-based preference categories, we must use dates for filing chart. So that is the second chart, not the first one. They are very similar, they change by 1 month. So if we look at, let me put it properly there. So if we look at this table, again, there's no change. And for EB2, the priority date for most countries except China and India, the priority date is December 1st, 2022. So that means that if you file your I-140 before December 1st, you can go ahead and submit your adjustment of status. If you submit it and they receive your I-140 after December 1st, you cannot submit your adjustment of status. And by the way, this also applies for those of you applying from abroad. It's not only for adjustment of status, it's also for consular processing. They will not call you until your priority date is earlier than the date shown in this table. As usual for EB2, China and India have a very long wait. India more than 10 years and China about 3 years. So these are the news for the Visa Bulletin. They are not great, they are not horrible. I do hope it will change in the next months and maybe we'll see a recovery from this special situation that we are seeing, which is we're getting stuck for EB1 and EB2, and some countries have even retrogressed in the previous months. So if you have a question, please post it in the comments below. I'll leave a link to the Visa Bulletin so you can spend some time there interpreting the chart by yourself, going to previous months and see how it has evolved over time. And what I also recommend is that you take a look at my website eb2niw.info, where you can find a lot of information about the EB2 NIW category, so you can self-petition, you can apply for a green card by yourself without lawyer, without sponsorship from a company. And I have a lot of resources for you. I have my real I-140 petition, I have adjustment of status examples, and coming soon I'll have a comprehensive course where I will walk you through each and every step of the EB2 NIW green card category process, how you can do it yourself. So, as usual, thank you for your attention, thank you for your support. Please subscribe, share this video, like it, and as usual, I also wish you really good luck in your EB2 NIW journey.